Niv, let's go with yours. Unnatural Forces. 1, 2, 3. That's cool. Let's see where he goes with this. Interesting instrumentation. Would have had a bit more delay on these instruments. Probably. Yes, this was okay, guys. I think this transition is one of the most interesting transitions we heard today. Why was that great? 7/8. Yeah, the 7/8 is already like. Is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it's 7/8. It's crisp build up, silence, changing of instruments, the riser. What else do we have? Like and it opens up, it does this stutter, and you're like, oh my god, what happens next? Like you're like, damn, hey, what's gonna happen? And then it's like, nice. Man, that's so cool. What the hell, Niv? What the? You see what he did? Like he stopped the percussion here. And you're like, what's gonna happen now? And then it does this beautiful choir. We've never heard the choir so far in the track. You're like, damn, what's going on? And there's also like, there's like a bass drop, and then the brass that keeps on it. So we have what? Percussion stops, the string to pa 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 pa. Then we have the choir. Then you have the bass drop underneath, which is like secret. You have a riser. You have this stutter, and then you have the. This all happens in the span of like 2 seconds. 2 seconds. And this, like, honestly, this can be a reason why a track gets a placement. Okay, maybe like the climax is nice and stuff, but bro, have you heard that transition? Like people are gonna go like, what the hell? You know, like this is the stuff you want. And in my tracks, when I write music, personally, I do this. Like there's many of my songs, I'm like, this sucks for 80% of the track. I don't like it. But man, that transition I wrote there, that bass fill there is fucking legendary. I need to publish the song because people need to hear that bass line. That's the way I see my music. And man, this is the stuff that makes me go, yes, I will listen to the track again just to feel that transition. And then if the rest of the track is okay, it's fine. But that 2 seconds when Niv really put the effort to create something freaking insane, yes, that's the thing that makes me go. What I don't like is probably the mixing a little bit in this first part. But let's see how it proceeds. So this brass sounds a bit like, I don't know if it's like playing a bit earlier or a bit later. The problem with the mixing is that there's too much high end on the mix. So it's a bit sharp and on everything. So here's the thing, yeah, loud, the shakers and hats, they're super loud because the highs have been boosted on every instrument for the most part, I think. And the hats and shakers are super high by default. You really hear those and not good. What the? That they didn't need to do that. No, he didn't. But it's so cool. So cool, man. Wow. Maybe really grown. Jaeger vocals in the house. Yeah, quantization feels a bit off. Definitely. Dude, you're a freaking crazy man. You're freaking crazy, man. This is crazy. Who expected that? Surely I did not. Now, I would probably equalize this a bit differently because the idea of a solo there is genius. And also, you have this part where the choir really kicks on. So here we hear the choir taking over for the first time, and that's already amazing. The fact you had a solo on top of that is just insane. It's just, wow, that's over-delivering. I love it. I would probably equalize the guitar a bit differently, but I'm not an expert of guitar. And I would probably recommend you, maybe if you're struggling with this, I don't know if you are, I would probably write this second part, but if you're struggling with this, hit up like a guitarist friend and tell him, hey, I wrote this solo, can you improve it a little bit and write, record it yourself? Because man, this solo, if you make it like a 10 solo, this track, which is already optimal, is So what I would do here is do the ba 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 with choir, not with brass. Because now I can feel it, like, okay, he's using the brass so much, and in the second half he's gonna go crazy, and now the brass is kind of crazy. But if you did that with choir here, and then here you maybe did, I don't know, something, a modulation, if you did something different, you wouldn't have to go so high with the brass. Use choir and strings and stuff. But man, wow, what the hell? You guys are talented. Huh. Yes. That's giving me so many Egyptian vibes. And those pads in the background, what the so nice. So you have these pads in the background that you almost don't even hear them, but they're there. And also the delay and reverb on this, like plugs and stuff, is adding to the atmosphere. So this is very packed, even though it's very simple, And I love the atmosphere given by the choice of instruments. Man, that's the stuff. Yes, I love the strings. Beautiful. Okay, please don't repeat this like this again. It did. Okay, here I would have added a melody or something. A solo or whatever, like blah, da, da, blah, blah, in some like Arabian instrument or whatever. Just add me. Like it's cool that you repeated this, but here I would have added something. But let's see how this continues. Wait, did I guess the melody like ba 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 as a ba 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 ba? But here is ba ba ba. It changes. I almost guessed the melody. Ow! Bro, I love this. So you have that first melodic phrase, and then it breaks, and you have this beautiful. What? Wait a second. Check it out. Now. What the man? That's beautiful, Michael. Michael, you beautiful man. Check out what's going on. So, notice the percussion. Like, as the phrase ends, you have this reverse symbol, like, shh, and then as the symbol stops, it's like the symbol is telling you, hey, check out this shit right here, like, right here. And there's another symbol, like, so like, the percussion is like, check out this shit right here, and let's go back to that melody you heard before. It's beautiful, man. And also this, so it's not only he wrote this beautiful feel with that, sort of like Arabian guitar instrument of whose name I don't know, but he also gave us pointers to listen to what's coming. This is what I'm talking about. This is stuff I'm talking about, guys. That's very good. And that counter melody there. Ba, 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 ba. If you wanted to make this even better, I would have added in the second half another instrument. Maybe some brass or whatever. An instrument we haven't heard. But I mean, this track is long, so you can do that. Man, I love this one. What you need, so this part sounds like it's a foundation for a beautiful solo. Get, I don't know, some ethnic instrumentalist from Fiverr and be like, hey, record a solo for my song. Because like this parts and the part before, they're cool, but they're like, I expect something to happen and then it doesn't happen. So if you add a solo in there, like a solo vocalist, a solo whatever Arabian instrument, that would be amazing. Great. Man, what the hell? What the hell? Bro. Jesus. Okay, here I would have done, instead of ending like that, like you're ending on a cadence. What if we did something like that, that ends on a super high cadence, and then in the second half, you would have taken that melody and transitioned it to like a brass ensemble. Something like that. So in this second half, do something different. And you end this solo with a cadence that is high and connects to the new instrument, taking that melody to a different place. On it, like that would have been the best thing ever, you know? Interesting atmosphere. I love that, like that effect with the strings there. Oh man. That is amazing. That is amazing. I want you guys to listen to this with me again. Write in the chat the reasons why you think this intro is freaking amazing. Let's go again. Live cello. So here's my thing. I thoroughly believe that if you remove the solo cello from this, it's still gonna sound bananas. And if you remove the that thing on the piano that changes notes sometimes, that arpeggio that is very mysterious, if you remove this like texture with the strings, if you remove the beautiful chordal changes, if you remove the beautiful dynamics on the strings, remove all of that and you leave the solo cello, it's not gonna be great. So what is the great thing? Everything but the main melody is amazing. The cello is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but like it's everything. Like the context that Jonathan and Ryan are setting now with all these atmospheric things that will not steal the show. So that's what you want. You want a cake. You know, you want layers of awesomeness with music to get this sort of like epic sound, or to get a very big emotional response from your people who are listening to the track. And also the sub bass is like, here it gets super warm. That is great. And now you have this boom. Like, I love also the fact that like for a minute we didn't have any percussion at all. It sounds atmospheric as hell. And when the percussion kicks in, you really feel it, you know? Like oh God. And I love that now the arpeggio is way more clear. I think the first time you listen to this as a random listener, you're not even going to notice the arpeggio in this first half, because it's playing such subtly in the piano and you're like, you don't even hear it. It's there in the harmony, but you're just paying attention to the cello because you're a random listener, right? And maybe it's your first listen. And then once the arpeggio kicks in this part, you feel like you know it already. And it's because you already heard it, you know? That's one thing you might want to do in your music. Add subtle elements that give a hint of what's about to come, but add them in a way that people don't really notice them until, you know, they listen to the track many times. And then what you're doing is you're communicating those things to their subconscious. So when you get to the climax and use that melody again, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I know how this song goes. It sounds so familiar and that's why I like it. This song gets me. And you're like, no, stupid. I just told you a minute ago and you weren't listening. So that's kind of like the thing you want to do with your music, I think. That's a good strategy. Another thing we do in order to keep to make the listener feel like, oh, I know this song, I know how it goes, is to keep the track in the same key for 4 minutes, or to revolve around the same chord progressions for 4 minutes. But I really believe that if you delve into modulations, like if you change key throughout the track or something like that, or maybe you have a chord progression where you change key every so and so bars, that will add a degree of mystery that will make the livelihood of your track even much more intense and much longer. So I would definitely consider for your tracks to have sometimes parts where you add key changes, stuff like that. Time by Hans Zimmer has 4 chords. Yes, that's an amazing, but here's the thing about Time. You listen to that and you're like, yeah, 4 chords. Then I'm gonna do that as well. And you also, pop music. You listen to pop music, you're like, yeah, they're using 4 chords, the melody is simple, I'm gonna do that as well. Yeah, try to write a pop song that sounds awesome. It's freaking impossible. Why? Because it's about what I told you now. Like, You listen to that, you listen to the intro of a song from JOONATAN, you're like, oh, that cello sounds awesome. No, what's going on is like the texture, the detail behind that is awesome. In time, what is happening is that basically every so and so bars, the main instrument changes. Like if it was the brass before, like if the French horn was the main instrument, then it becomes, I don't know, the trumpets and the French horns are gonna do something different and whatever. Like every single time in time, Hans Zimmer adds a new detail every time you repeat that melody. Every time those chords get repeated, there's a new detail. There's maybe a pad, there's a guitar, there's stuff kicking in, and it's just what is surrounding the chords and the main melody in time is what makes time amazing. It's not the fact that he's using 4 chords. The fact he's using 4 chords is a device that he's using as a way to make people understand the beauty of the piece without challenging their musical intellect too much. Because 4 chords, you can follow them very easily. But as he makes you latch onto that, he creates this incredible soundscape around everything, and he keeps on changing stuff, and you're like, oh God, what is going on? This sounds so beautiful. And then when you analyze it, you're like, yeah, 4 chords, I'm gonna do it as well. But you forget to do all the background stuff and all the embellishment and articulations, and then you start to think, well, how does Hans Zimmer does it? And you're like, oh, maybe I need to get this library. And no, that's not, like, you need to learn orchestration, instrumentation, and stuff. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. It's simple, but simple doesn't mean easy. Oh boy. Wow. I love this technique. Like this idea of starting a song or having a part of a song where you play a melody on a high octave and then repeating it but on a lower octave. Makes it sound a bit more mature. It's as if when it's high octave, like it's like a kid singing, and then when it goes down, it's like it's matured in something more adult, you know? That's how I see it. And it's interesting because like different octaves like that can really change a bit of like your perception of the melody. Even if the instrument is the same, you know? Very beautiful. I love how much the percussion moves us around the track. And this, man, that tremolo right there, such a beautiful way to hold the tension and like make this transition even more intense. But like, it's not loud, you see? Like, he is playing with contrast. He's giving us a beautiful experience. Thank you, Kevin. Wow. Beautiful dynamics. Like, it's not only about writing cool melodies and writing cool progression, it's also about making them sound alive. Dynamic changes. That choir that kicks in just like that. Just like that. You know? Guys, the cool thing is that it starts with the strings and then with the oboe or something, which is doubling the strings, very beautiful. It gets higher, and here you get the choir just comes out of nowhere, joins the crowd, and it makes sense because, you know, like until now you have the oboe and the strings, and then the next color orchestrally that will make sense in terms of frequencies and stuff is the choir at that octave. It's like beautiful, and it follows the main melody, so it's not very, intrusive. And then you have the trumpets that everything was playing like sustained elements until now, and the trumpets are doing like marcato, staccato, and here they keep on rising, and as they rise, it sounds as if the track is like slowing down. Like, so much tension before we even get to the next part. And now let's check out how this next part sounds. But you see, like, this is just 10 seconds, but there's so much detail here, you know? It's amazing. What I would have done instead of like pam 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 pam, it was a pam 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 pam, or something like that, something even more dramatic. Hey, or something like that, you know? It would have been great. You know, Irish. This gave me some How to Train Your Dragon vibes, but also Someone wrote in chat very, very correctly, Final Fantasy 12 or Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Kevin, if you haven't listened to the soundtrack for Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, please do. It's gonna inspire you even more to write stuff that is freaking legendary.